So, if finding clients for your filmmaking business feels like finding this guy in a space like this, then you're in the right place, because today we're going to talk about finding clients, and especially finding clients during a pandemic. First of all, let me say that finding clients during Corona can be really challenging. This whole pandemic thing is taking so much longer than expected, and because of that, companies are really slowing down their business. But when the going gets tough, the tough get going, right? So the first step to find new clients right now is to put in extra effort and really focus on growing your business. And that can simply be done by putting in more time. So get out of your Corona safe cave and get back to work. And a good place to start is your network. Networking may sound a bit 80s to you, but it's still highly effective and commonly underestimated. And that's because a lot of people think that their social network is an equivalent of their personal network. But although they're conceptually the same, they're socially different, because people tend to appreciate a conversation more if they actually know the person that they're talking with. So having thousands of friends on Facebook isn't as valuable as knowing thousands of people in real life. And today we're talking about your personal network. And a very simple yet effective way to determine the size of your network is by using a theory called the 6 degrees of separation. And it works like this. Every person on this planet will be able to reach out to any other person in the world within 6 handshakes, or awkward elbows. So according to this theory, your new client must be within the reach of 6 handshakes. Now let's see if that's true. Make a drawing like this, center yourself, add your friends and relatives, but also their spouses. And continue by adding everyone you know, like your neighbors, classmates, people from the gym, and also write down the people you know by them. And while doing so, you will find out that your network is actually bigger than you think. But then the main question that remains is, what to do with all these contacts? Well, that brings me to the next step, and that is, share your passion. Sharing your passion is the biggest and most powerful tool you have when finding new clients. But do not only share your passion online, share your passion actively in the real world. But let's zoom in for a moment on how that can be done properly. For a start, go out into the real world. Now I know that sounds like a suicide mission during Corona, but you can give people a call or a video call. And before you start calling, find out what someone is doing for a living and if that person is linked to someone who is potentially interesting for you. Here's an example. Your brother's girlfriend works at a coffee bar, and next to that bar is a real estate agency that you're interested to work for. Now, chances are that your brother's girlfriend can introduce you to the owner or marketing manager of that company. And being introduced by someone that you know is so much more effective than calling someone that doesn't know you at all. So mark the people in your network that are potential clients. And when you've done that, you know the right people to share your passion with. But the big question that remains is, what are you going to tell them? A lot of filmmakers are like, I make great videos and I just need a paid job so that I can make more great videos. But it doesn't work like that. People are not going to buy your videos just because they think you're a nice guy or your work looks nice. I mean, I understand that you like to make videos about ideas that are already in your head, but people will only spend money on stuff that will solve a problem for them. So to take this a step further, you're not in the filmmaking business, you're in the problem-solving business. And what I mean by that is, the films that you make will only be worth spending money on if they solve some kind of problem. For instance, when you make a promotional video, the video will only be worth the investment if it helps solving the client's promotional problems. So if you approach your new client, start by asking questions. Ask how they are doing and if they face any challenges in regard to communication. And if that turns out to be the case, tell them how your video can help solve that problem. Let's wrap it up. You've mocked up your network and you have cherry-picked all the interesting contacts. So you can now start calling them and have meaningful conversations that will determine if your video is beneficial for them. If you have any questions in regard to these topics, please drop them in the comments. And if you think this video was useful, make sure to subscribe, because in the next video we're going to talk about approaching new clients. Thank you for watching and good luck.